public safety also an issue this year. You've seen some gun violence within the city.
Yep.
How safe do you think Fall River is? And if elected mayor, what would you do to improve public safety in the city?
So with the public safety, as I said before, focusing on the economy will, and I see this as a reliance that the police department has on City Hall and the mayor, is that they rely on the mayor to have a good working functioning economy, and the mayor relies on the police force in order to make sure that our citizens are well protected and violence is at a minimum. For things like that, the first thing that I would have to do is just consult with the police department and the people that run those locations. They are the experts in the matter, and getting a better understanding as to what works and what doesn't work comes first. There shouldn't be I can't be the kind of person that goes in there and demands a change without understanding how a change is best to occur, right? The police force and the people in charge there, I would absolutely consult with them and see and look upon them for some degree of direction, and they'll have suggestions on what would work best for certain situations and for tackling certain issues like drug use.
Fall River has been fortunate this year through the pandemic to receive a good chunk of change when it comes to federal money, one-time money. It's referred to ARA funding, the correct name for it. Where would you be allocating this money? And would any of it be... Well, let me ask you this. Where would you be allocating it? And what's your thoughts currently on the tax and fee structure in the city?
So for the tax and fee structure, I would not be looking at all to raise taxes and to raise fees in public works like the water utility bills. To me, they've been increased on a yearly or semi-annual basis, especially the water bill, where it's significantly higher than what it was 10 years ago and higher than that 20 years ago, etc. And also additional fees get tacked on for things like that. And I'm not going to be the kind of person that's going to employ any additional type of taxes upon the people, right? Any form of taxation is especially the current format of taxation that governments currently utilize, is not gaining or not consented by the people. They have no way of directly voicing how much of their tax that they want to have allocated from one location to another. That goes into the budget. So ideally, and this is an ideal notion, this is not saying that I'm going to direct this type of thing to occur, but ideally what I would love to see is a city of Fall River where each individual has more direct control over where their tax funds are allocated towards. So it could be as simple as a checkbox system that goes into your yearly, semi-annual tax, sort of just filing of paperwork. Could be very easily implemented online. So this would obviously go towards the property owners, right? So the people that own the properties, they're already paying out taxes, right? And this money is extracted from them regardless if they gave consent or not. Mm-hmm. And then what they could do is have this checklist. By the way, here's a breakdown of each of the different government services that your tax money is being afforded to. And they could check a box. It can be something that's more granular where they can do a write-in for how much. They say, here's the total that's being taken out. How would you like these funds to be appropriated? Would you like to have 50% allocated towards education, 20% towards the police department, etc.?
Do you currently feel that one area is more bloated or top-heavy than another currently?
Well, the biggest one is the education system, but as it stands right now, I have no interest in trying to play favorites with whichever one I think is overbloated or underbloated. The city has been running, right? So my last interest is to break what isn't currently working. All I have an interest in is making sure that things run better, more efficient, and that each each of the people of Fall River have more direct control over how these funds are allocated. I've already identified a couple of things within the city budget that is already in excess of expenses.
Such as?
I don't want to go into too much more details on that. It is related to the water department.
Okay.
Just as one example, I have to keep some things reserved because there is a debate coming up, right?
Fair enough.
And it amounts to a few $100,000, right? That could be saved right there. And this is just me, an outsider, looking through a 400-page budget document, give or take a couple of pages, and finding expenses that is completely unnecessary. And by the way, these expenses are not jobs. I'm not cutting anyone's jobs. I'm not cutting people's salaries or anything like that. I just found these things that are gross expenditures that we can do without and be better without. And ideally, when these types of things occur, where I find inefficiencies within the budget, for me, and this is just me personally, if the people of Fall River want it handled in a different way, that's up for them to sort of voice, and I will definitely listen to whatever it is that they have to say. But for me, I would like to take that money and bring it back to the people, so as in a form of tax relief of some fashion.
My guest, Jonathan Albernaz, running for the office of mayor here in the city of Fall River. Going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back after these words.